his clue that he got. One of it was like teen idol, puppy love. Do you have any ideas?
I know I've been seeing a lot of people saying John Mayer, but I don't think that that makes sense. I think
Mm.
that it could be.
Hey, what's up, guys? Benny Adams here with Hollywood Junket. I am so excited. I got the one and only Kristen Maldonado with me from Pop Culture Planet. She's an entertainment journalist. She is amazing at what she does, and we are talking all about Claim to Fame, this new, very addicting reality television show. How's it going, Kristen?
I'm good. How are you? I'm excited to talk Claim to Fame. I love the first season, and this season already is off to a pretty wild start. So
Oh, oh my gosh. So before we jump into all the craziness that has happened in episode 1 and episode 2, for the people who haven't seen this show yet, this is about 12 contestants, but these just aren't any ordinary contestants. They are, all 12 of these contestants are related to someone famous. And the whole goal of this show is the other contestants have to figure out who they're related to. If they get it right, that contestant gets the boot. If they get it wrong, the person guessing gets the boot. So it's very interesting. So 2 episodes have aired. The first episode was insane. They went off to just a huge start. And Kristen, I want to get your opinion on this, but the first eliminated contestant, her name was Carly. And she was related to Tom Hanks. And she blew up. She was not happy whatsoever. Kristen, what did you think about all that?
I mean, it was definitely entertaining. And after looking up Carly a little bit after the show, I don't know if you ever watched Raise Your Voice with Hilary Duff, but she appeared in that movie, and I'm like, I would have loved to see more of that girl. Absolutely, I agree with her. But I think it's one of those things where like you're trying to stay in the house. There's so many clues floating around, and if you think you know who it is, you got to save yourself. You can't worry about how other people feel, right? So I get wanting to like be in the house and get to last more than an episode, but man, this show, I feel like every first episode always has some kind of chaos. The first season, the first episode, they had to kick someone out for cheating, and so people got to stay. So it makes sense to me that first episode we got to go big with having a big reaction from Carly. So, too bad she didn't get to stay. But that's just how the game works. I feel like a lot of people are like, I'm going after this person next, or this person's coming after me. Like, that's the game, right?
Hmm.
That's,
Yeah, yeah. No,
true.
she was definitely good TV, and she would have been if she would have stayed. I guarantee you, she would have been amazing TV just from like that little blow up. So, she definitely got her time to shine. I want to talk about episode 2 now. Episode 2 was really cool. Also, we got to see more of Jane. Everyone saw her as like this mother figure, and then people were starting to be like, you know what? Maybe she's not so innocent. Travis was also someone pretty big. He got some more screen time. What do you think about the characters so far? Now that we're past episode 2.
Yeah, I think that people are really playing the game. I think Jane, is really playing up that Mama Jane personality. But I noticed Chris is one to watch because he's like calling out everybody like privately, like
Mhm.
he's like, oh, I think Mama Jane, I feel like she's lying. I don't trust it. And then you're like, but how does he know she is lying? Oh my gosh. Or he's just kind of like noticing little things. Like he's very intuitive and like picking stuff up that I definitely wouldn't pick up if I was in the house. So I feel
Right.
like he's one to watch. And also Monet has been winning a lot of challenges. So I feel like the two of them are definitely people to watch out for that could go pretty far in the competition.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I want to talk about Shane. So she told this story about, and I want to know your opinion about this question I'm about to ask. But Shane, she told this story about how she's related, or not related, but she's friends with Michael Jackson. Like she's been to Michael Jackson's house, I think once. I think she said. And so Chris thought that maybe she's related to Janet Jackson or Lenny Kravitz. Here's my thing though. The whole point of the game is to throw people off, to like have people, not guess who you're related to. So why would you say that unless she's lying? You know?
Yeah,
Oh, could she be
she
lying?
could be
That
lying,
just popped up in my
right?
head.
And I think a lot of people are playing the game like Jane too, telling half truths of things, trying to like kind of sway people to be on their side, giving like a little bit of information, but like not a lot.
So another thing I wanted to talk about was Travis. He won immunity and he got this pretty special clue about shame. So pretty much he decided to use this information and tell Jane, everything that was in this clue. Jane decided to go to the other house guests and she relayed this information, but it wasn't exactly the same information that was told to her, and people just were not buying it. And I think this put a huge target on her back because I felt like she was playing a really good game at first, but now people are seeing, she's not this sweet, innocent mother figure that she's trying to put off, and that she's actually playing the game really hard. What did you think about all of that?
Yeah, no, I think 100%. Like, I think she was trying to use the Mama Jane persona, but was giving half truths. And by the end of the episode, it really seemed like she's gonna be the next target for episode 3. That like everyone's gonna go in on her because she kind of doesn't have anybody's back but her own, which I guess is part of the game. But there was definitely some moments where it felt like maybe there were some like secret alliances going on behind the scenes that we didn't necessarily get to see because by the end Travis has now given both Jane and Gabriel access to this clue, and I really thought that like he was gonna be able to save himself because like maybe they would need him, and he's showing that like, look, I can be a team player, I can help out other people, like keep me. And I don't know, something went on there, and he ended up getting the boot. So
Yeah, yeah. I want to talk about this challenge because I've always been pretty vocal about challenges in reality shows. I'm like, you should only have challenges if it pushes the show forward in a direction that it needs to go to. And this challenge, it actually works. Everyone, they had to race across this red carpet where there were Legos, and pretty much the last two people were the people who lost, and the people who lost were Gabriel and Jane. Um, and so pretty much what happens is Monet chose Chris's clue, but she said she pulled Travis's clue. What did you think about that whole situation? What did you think about the challenge? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I was mixed about the challenge. It was fun. The whole like getting glam for the red carpet, the like celebrity type of tie-ins that they try to do. The last one where they were like doing the ab like machine. I don't know, nobody tapped out of that. To me, that was like not a successful challenge. I would have just, I don't know, cut that and did something else because you want to get somebody out, right? Although I gotta say, Hugo was really just like unbothered, unfazed by that whole thing. I liked the clues that we got to learn from these challenges, though, which were that JR's right is it JR's relative was born in Lithia Springs, Georgia, which rings off
Mhm.
some bells because they have a musician relative, and so I'm like, got some theories there. And then Jane's relative was born in 1946.
Yeah.
Again, this that's an interesting little tidbits of information that we're getting.
Towards the end, the majority voted for Gabriel to be the guesser, and it's very interesting because it's a positive, but it can also be a bad thing to be the guesser. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're wrong, you get booted. But you know what? If you're right, you can get a potential like huge threat out. So Gabriel is the guesser. He chose to guess Travis, and Travis was
Why?
he was pretty shocked about it. He was pretty shocked. Were you surprised that Travis was shocked about it?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I know it was like his last ditch effort. You don't really know what people are thinking in the game because like everything can go two ways. It's like, okay, well, get him out because it's easy. Get him out, keep him in because like maybe he'll share more clues with you. Who are you forming an alliance with? And like I was saying before, it just felt like we didn't really hear anybody like make solid plans. But Gabriel said something at the end about like, based off of like what we've all kind of like decided, I had to go with Travis, and it made it sound like there's somebody, making like decisions for the team, trying to be like, all right, let's all work together, get out Travis this time. And I feel like that Mama Jane needs to be careful because I think that looks like what's going to happen for episode 3.
Mhm.
Like that she might be the next target.
Yep, yep. Why do you think he decided not to go with Shane?
Maybe for that one, if you I feel like if you're really, really positive about Travis, then Shane's is so obvious from the clue that it's a good one to save for the future if you're like really stuck, which I think is what they did last season too with Simone Biles' sister. Everyone knew who she was the minute she walked in. She literally looks identical to her sister. So they just kept holding her and holding her off to the end because they were like, we know that she's the easiest person to get out. And so why waste her when like if there's a real emergency, we can just use her at the end, you know?
That's a good point. That's a very good point. And so I want to get your opinion on this. So the booth that they go in, does it look soundproof to you? It doesn't look soundproof to me. I just wanted to know what you thought about that. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I don't know, because you know, when Casey ran off screaming in the first episode, I thought she seemed far away, but everyone could hear her. She seemed like she was like upstairs, gone, like in a bedroom, but everyone was still like, we can hear everything. Actually cool about what Shane did was one of her clues is that her relative is a musician, and it's not a lie, even though like it's sort of a lie because
Yeah.
spoiler alert, her relative is Eddie Murphy, who we all
Dun
know
dun
is acting in
dun.
comedy, but he also is, you know, has an incredible voice and has songs out, was in Dreamgirls, so he is a bit of a musician as well. So that was a little bit of a tricky one, I thought, but no, like the minute they said buckwheat for Shane's clue, I was like, okay, let me Google that a little bit. Like, what is buckwheat? Because the first thing I think of is like Little Rascals, and I was like, that doesn't make sense to me, right? I don't know. And then once I saw, you know, who played buckwheat in SNL, and I was like, now the first half of the clue makes more sense. Coming to America.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
I got it.
I
That's
was
Eddie
thinking you
Murphy.
were there's just like there's so many people and there's so many clues. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like information
Yeah.
overload. I also want to talk about Chris and his clue that he got. One of it was like teen idol, puppy love. I have no idea. What do you have any ideas?
I know I've been seeing a lot of people saying John Mayer, but I don't think that that makes sense. I think
Mm.
that it could be Donny Osmond because he was a pretty big star in Teen Idol in the 70s, and he also kind of looks and sounds just like him.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that there could be definitely something there.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. And what do you think about the other contestants? Are there any contestants that stand out to you where you're just like, oh, I know who you're related to?
I really think JR, um,
Mhm.
the clue that they gave was that their relative was from Lithia Springs, Georgia, and they gave some clues that were a little confusing. But I think like if you narrow it down, like they're definitely a musician. And
Mhm.
the person that I kind of came up with that I think it could be is Lil Nas X.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that they're his brother. That's my theory for JR. Gabriel is an interesting one because I feel like he looks like Marshawn Lynch. Like, and he was saying like he has an athlete in his family, but I feel like that it's a lie. I think he's playing up. He even like jokes about how like, you know, everyone thinks I look like an athlete, but like it's just so I can like, you know, do my like dance moves or whatever. And so
Yeah.
I think that his person is really maybe more of a like comedian, or like, I mean, he rapped on the show, you know, he has just like a big personality. And so I feel like it's, if it's not Marshawn Lynch, then I think it's someone that route, like maybe like Nick Cannon, I think would be like a really
Oh.
cool pick for him. And just has like all those elements of like performing and rap and comedy that he really like, I feel like he embodies. I mean,
Who do you think
Hugo.
Jane is related to?
Oh, Jane.
That's what I want to know.
Okay, so Jane, their relative was born in 1946.
Yeah.
I feel like they're a musician, right? She said that they're a musician and she sings during the talent competition in episode 1. So I'm like, who's like an older musician?
And like I'm trying to think of like maybe like this musician is a redhead also, but I'm like I don't know. Like that's the only thing I'm like trying to think of. And I'm like, who's a famous redhead musician? But then I'm like, is that even like a factor? And I'm like, yeah, I'm so bad at
Musician.
this.
I think like when you look at musicians born in that time,
Hmm.
you have people like Liza Minnelli,
Yeah.
Cher, Dolly Parton.
Hmm.
I want to go like, I don't know, maybe like Dolly Parton.
Yeah. And I'm looking at her picture right now and I'm like, who does she look familiar to? And I'm just like, I have no idea. I have no clue. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna have to wait and
Yeah.
see.
Mhm.
Who do you think's gonna win it all? Do you have any?
Oof. If I was to guess who's gonna win it all, I feel like the people that are really aware and also winning a lot of challenges are Chris and Monet.
Hmm.
And I think Monet is also like very under the radar. Like I don't think that her person's gonna be really easy to guess. Same for like Olivia and Carson. Like I
Yeah.
have no idea. So I think those are some of the people to look out for. People that it's like really not super obvious, or maybe even have like celebrity relatives that are a little bit more outside the box and not so, as known as like an Eddie Murphy or a Tom Hanks.
Hmm.
So um I also think Hugo's going to be an interesting one to see because he really he really did not move during that ab challenge. So
Yeah.
I think he's going to be really good at the challenges, and also his clue is really unique because it's like a world leader. So like, is it a president? Like,
That would be crazy. That would
right?
be insane.
What
That will
president do you think could be related to him? I don't know.
we'll have to wait and see. We'll definitely have to wait and see. But I cannot wait for episode 3. Let me know in the comments, what did you guys think about episode 2? What did you guys think about episode 1? And what do you think about this show overall? Are you digging it? Are you liking it? Are there some things you would change? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. I'm your host, Benny Adams. You can find me on all social media at Benny J Adams. Kristen, go ahead and tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at popcultureplanet.net, where we cover the world of entertainment while shining a light on representation and inclusion, and just everywhere at Kaymaldo, Kaymaldo on social.
I love to hear it. I love to hear it, Christian. Thank you guys again so much, and I will see you again next time.